Born on the planet Phatrong, the homeworld of the Kyuzo species, Embo grew to be one of the galaxy's most skilled and fearsome bounty hunters. Operating during the Clone Wars, Embo used a bowcaster and even his large circular hat to disable targets. Despite working with the likes of Bane and Boba Fett, the bounty hunter was loyal to only his anooba companion, Marrok, which proved to be a truly terrifying partnership. Welcome to the CXXXI Star Wars Lore episode 131, The Rise of Embo. Although Embo preferred to operate alone, his first engagement of the Clone Wars saw him work alongside fellow bounty hunters Rumi Paramita, Serapis and Suji. He was hired as part of the crew to protect Felucia's Nycillan farmers from Hondo Ohnaka and his pirate gang. When the bounty hunters ran into the stranded Jedi trio of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano, both parties reluctantly joined forces. While the motley crew trained the farmers in self-defense, Embo encountered one of Ohnaka's scouts. Despite facing some resistance, Embo managed to snap the pirate's neck. In response, dozens of enemy speeder bikes swept into the farmer's village, backed by Hondo and his tank. Embo fought valiantly to help repel Ohnaka's thugs from the village and the planet. However, during the battle, the bounty hunter was hit and injured by a tank blast. Not long after making a full recovery, Embo made his way to Jabba the Hutt's palace on Tatooine alongside Suji and Marrok. The Hutts were a steady source of income for bounty hunters and were never short of dirty deeds that needed doing. The visit coincided with that of Pantora's chairman Papanoida and his son Ion. Both men were searching for Greedo, the bounty hunter who had kidnapped Papanoida's daughters. Embo decided to not get involved with the situation, but he did return to action when summoned to fight in the box. Upon answering Count Dooku's call, Embo travelled to Sereno to prove himself in the fiendish testing ground. Out of the 12 bounty hunters who entered, he was one of the few to survive, outmanoeuvring the likes of Sinrich and Sixta. Due to their performances, Wracker Hardeen, Deron, Twazi and Embo were tasked with kidnapping Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. At Palpatine's appearance on Naboo, Embo and Twazi used holographic disguise matrices to pose as Senate commandos. Although the bounty hunter performed well in his role, he found himself taken into Republic custody by Mace Windu and Anakin Skywalker. After time spent in Republic custody, Embo's travels brought him back to Tatooine. Alongside Suji, Dengar and Lats Razi, Embo was hired as a bodyguard by the Hutt Grand Council. When Darth Maul and his brother Savage Opress frightened the Hutts on behalf of the Shadow Collective, Embo and the others sprang into action to defend their employers. However, the bounty hunters were driven back when the Death Watch intervened. The Kyuzo faced Opress one-on-one and had to use his hat to fend off the powerful opponent. Realising the attackers were too strong, Suji ordered a retreat. Embo reluctantly agreed to leave their employers behind. Embo was later hired by Darth Sidious to enact a complicated mission on Scipio. He initially fired his bowcaster at the intergalactic banking clan's Rush Clovis, only to miss as instructed. He then shot dead Padme Amidala's handmaiden Tekla Minot, leading to the Senator's arrest for sabotage. When Amidala was released, she travelled with Skywalker to Clovis's chateau in the mountains of Scipio. However, the trio were tracked by Embo and Marrok. After shooting down their airspeeder, Embo used his hat in pursuit to traverse down the planet's icy slopes. Clovis managed to escape, just as Sidious planned. Nearing the end of the Clone Wars, Embo began taking jobs on a regular basis with Boba Fett's team of bounty hunters. In one particular assignment, the crew were hired by Asajj Ventress to rescue her lover Quinlan Vos from Count Dooku. Embo and the rest of Fett's crew managed to capture Dooku on Sereno. However, they had to retreat following Vos's refusal to leave the Sith Lord's side. The mission was ultimately unsuccessful, but at least Embo and the others survived a direct encounter with Dooku to live another day. What happened to the bounty hunter afterwards was never recorded. However, several years before the Battle of Yavin, Embo was depicted in some graffiti art by Sabine Wren. To learn more about Embo's personality, skills and equipment, click the link on screen or the one in the description. Now it's time for this week's question. What do you think happened to Embo after the Clone Wars? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to vote for next week's episode by voting in the card poll. Yes, that's right, there's a new voting system in town, so I thought why not try it out. To have your say in future Star Wars lore videos, head on over to thecangzans.com and get voting. Thanks for watching, and for more Star Wars related content, keep it locked here to the CXXXI. plans. Not long after, the Onaka gang began raiding a Nicellan spice farm on Felucia. To counter this, the villagers hired 4 bounty hunters for protection. Unfortunately, it wasn't just the bounty hunters Hondo and his pirates had to deal with on their next raid. Kenobi and Skywalker were investigating the disappearance of a Republic medical station which orbited Felucia when they came across the villagers, who expressed their concerns over the raiders. He initially appeared friendly towards the Jedi before demanding the villagers gather more Nicellan for him. Whilst the pirate gang were away from the village, the Jedi trained the Felucian villagers to counter the pirates. After one of Onaka's scouts failed to return from the village, Hondo launched an attack. During the conflict, the pirate killed one of the bounty hunters before fighting Skywalker in a duel, using his electro staff against his opponent's lightsaber.